What's going on, guys? It's Luke22SV here, and welcome to the 17th round of the Career Mode of Season 3 here for the Japanese Grand Prix. And coming off the back of a second place finish in Russia, I'm not actually sure if I'll be able to get this Career Mode finished before F1 2020 comes out. I haven't actually timed it that well, but we'll try and get some of these videos uploaded as quickly as possible before it comes out. I may even just try and upload them whilst the F1 2020 game is out. Probably won't get any views on them because who will be watching the F1 2019 vids when 2020 is out. But just want to get the career mode finished really, and yeah, I mean F1 2020 is going to be the main focus very soon. But we start this weekend though with a little bit of a problem coming through the S's in the in a second practice session, I think it is. We're actually really struggling to get the grips with this car around this track. Still learning a lot with the steering wheel, not actually really that ready with the steering wheel yet. I mean, I'm still going to need a lot of practice, but as you can see here, a very realistic looking crash actually, just getting it all wrong and then just losing it onto the gravel, into the wall and out of practice, which was disappointing to say the least, and putting us on the back foot as we head into qualifying. Yeah, well, we aren't too strong around here either. I think we've struggled in qualifying around the past. But yeah, we have the championship still up for grabs. But at the moment, Verstappen is doing everything he needs to do by setting provisional pole. And we're down in P16. So that's not ideal. But we've got a chance to improve here on this lap time. We're currently down though. Yeah, we're trying to make it up though. We're in the rest of this lap. We've just got to try and make up the time that we just lost in the first sector here. A couple attempts down on our previous time, so I think our third sector wasn't too great, but we're just trying to get into the rhythm of it now. Just not getting the consistency yet with the wheel, but yeah, I mean it's still a long way to go with the wheel. I mean on the next F1 game, hopefully I think the handling's a little bit different. I think it's meant to be a little bit better. Hopefully I can kick on with the wheel then. Because I've only been using it a few months really, so it takes a lot of time to get used to, and definitely the consistency and the speed needs to get built up. So I'm not sure what kind of difficulty I will be starting on the next game. I think with the wheel up, we got a little bit lucky with a few of the results, to be fair, a little bit unlucky as well. I made a few mistakes and a few spins here and there as well, so I did manage to win, of course, the British Grand Prix first race with the wheel, but that was a track I've been practicing using the wheel at. But we come to cross the line, and we've actually improved on our lap time, but it's only good enough for P11. So yeah, got fresh tyres though for the race, but yeah, it's not ideal. We got our championship rivals Norris and Butler also ahead of us. Butler not too good on the grid, so yeah, he needs to get a good result, does Devon Butler today. And of course anything can happen though around this track. Is chances of crashes, safety cars and everything else as well. So well, it's still all to play for at the moment. I think it's really close at the top, but Verstappen, of course, is doing much better in qualifying than us at the moment, as he gets pole position ahead of Lucas Weber. And then going down the rest of the order, we got Norris in third, who needs a good result. He's starting to slip away badly. Vettel fourth, Ricciardo, and then Hamilton, Bottas, Leclerc, Butler and Perez. So all looking pretty close in the top 10. Myself and Stroll struggling in qualifying. Russell, Sainz, Fiat, Hulkenberg, Albon and Gasly. The Toro Rosso struggling recently, and then comes Giovinazzi and Magnussen rounding off the grid. So what can we do from P11? Can we get into the points? We need a good result here. Those 5 red lights come on, but we've given us all to do here as the lights go out. And away we go in this race for Canada, in this race for Japan, sorry. Getting my countries mixed up there. We've got a bad start. Maybe it's because Stroll just got past us. And there's a car that's gone off at turn 1 there. He's gone, I don't know who that was, but he's gone completely straight on. And yeah, that was a disaster for whoever that was. I think it was a Racing Point. I think it might have been Daniel Ricciardo. But we carry on in P12 then. We lost a position off the start then. Well, one position. We lost 2 positions really, but we gained 1. Back thanks to that car going off the track, but we carry on going through sector 1 and sector 2. We'll have to have a look at replay of what actually happened at the start there, but Poor start then for us. We've lost a couple of positions where we probably should have gained, but yeah, I still need to get my starts properly practice here. But we dived back down the inside of Stroll and dived back down the inside of Sainz here. He left the door open, we went for it. Normally on the F1 2019 game, the AI have a habit of turning in on you, and luckily this time we managed to get through that corner without losing any of our front wing. So we carry on into P10 and we're up into the point, so we've actually gained a position then. But yeah, that was pretty much the car that went off at turn 1 that has allowed us to gain the position. We pretty much just gained back the positions that we lost off the start as well. So Stroll, of course, he's miles behind his teammate in his career mode for some reason. I don't know whether that's because Weber's AI is really good or because Stroll's AI is really bad. But Verstappen is leading the way then, as he needs to do in this stage of the race and in this stage of the championship as well. But here's a replay then of the start. You can see it looks like Lando Norris got a good start, but so did Weber, and I think it was the racing point on the outside that went off. And you can see there's a McLaren involved as well. I think that was Lando Norris. I mean, he's got a championship to really fight for here, and he cannot afford to be involved in collisions, which is going to cost him if he's got any front wing damage there. But you can see the two Williams side by side just behind us of Kvyat and Russell, but we power on. You can see Norris got a very good start. He's up to second, probably could have got into the lead, but Verstappen closed him off, and we go into turn 1. It's actually Norris colliding with Weber, and Weber was quite lucky there not to end up spinning as well. I think Norris must have picked up a bit of front wing damage on Weber, and then the racing point as well added to that. So that was disappointing for him. Here's the view from Ricciardo. You can see that Norris getting a good start, but it gets bogged down by Verstappen, and then yeah, the McLaren just sorts of it gets hit by the rear of the McLaren, and that puts Ricciardo down into the last, having to go off the track to avoid a bigger collision pretty much. So disappointing for Ricciardo, but we move on now to lap 2. To start lap 2, behind Ricciardo's teammate Perez, and he's behind Butler, who's behind Leclerc, and he is behind Lando Norris, I think it is. So Norris, with that front wing damage, is going to be affected aerodynamically, so he's going to have less downforce on that McLaren, which is going to slow him down, particularly in sector 1 for those S's, and then sector 2 as well. So yeah, this is a track where you need downforce, and he's going to be struggling massively here, and we're going to try and make that opportunity. Kobayashi's favourite corner this is, where we make the overtake on Perez, but Perez fighting back on the exit there, but we say no to him, and we get past him into P9. So into P9 we go. So we gained 2 positions then from our starting position, and now we can focus on Butler, who's got to try and get past Leclerc and his teammate fairly quickly here. He just does not want to be held up by his teammate here, of all people. So Norris, he went from third on the grid. He's going backwards now. He's down in P7. If Leclerc can get past him here, and Butler will be looking to do the same. And of course, he does it just so easily. Both of them get past through 130R. We dive down the inside as well now, locking up both our fronts and getting past him into P8. And he ended up losing P9 as well. So Norris going backwards massively here. Perez as well he managed to get back past Perez. Perez was ahead of him originally, but he's lost that position now. So we move on to lap 4. Now we're behind Charles Leclerc, and now we're looking to try and get past him into the final chicane. We've got to look to dive down the inside of him here. No. Hamilton's going backwards now. Butler's got past Hamilton, so Butler's on the move now. So Butler going pretty much the opposite way the McLarens are this race. So Norris, he's behind in the championship as it is, so he's really not doing himself any favours here by getting that front wing damage, colliding with Weber at the start, and that would locking up a little bit here. But our pace is looking quite good in this race actually. It's not looking too bad, better than qualifying pace. We're actually managing to stick with these guys ahead, but our teammate though is doing a lot better than us. So whilst our pace is good, we probably should be doing even better than what we are doing at the moment. But yeah, I mean, we're just still making a few mistakes like these lookups. We'll have to try and get the braking sorted for F1 2022, but it's pretty much a trial career now at the moment, just for the F1 2020 career, which is I'm looking forward to doing. I might do a F1 2020 career starting on F2, and the other one will be the My Team career, which will take full focus, and maybe I'll do an F2 career once a week perhaps, or something like that. I know you can do a full season of F2 now on the F1 2020 career mode, so that might be something I look to do in the future. But at the moment we're looking to try and get past Hamilton and Leclerc. Leclerc behind Hamilton and ourselves behind Leclerc. So at the moment it's the fight for P6. Hamilton's losing the position now to Leclerc. Can we get past Hamilton ourselves, or is Hamilton going to try and fight back on Leclerc? and yeah, it looks like we're going to have to settle for this position now. It's quite hard to overtake here, so you have to be quite opportunistic, as we have been in the opening few laps of this race, but as the race starts to settle down, we have to sort of bide our time perhaps. And then look at this, Hamilton now looking to get back past Leclerc. We're going to be trying to make a move ourselves. We dive down the inside of Leclerc, but, well, he turns in on us. We lose a bit of front wing, and we're not happy about that. We spotted a gap to go down the inside, and he closed the door, which is annoyed us there. But we got a bit of front wing damage. Oh, we can start going backwards ourselves now, because that has really annoyed us, to be honest, that happening. It could slow us down a lot here, but Hamilton is ahead of us. Can we actually get past him, or is this front wing going to actually slow us down? Because at the moment we're not losing too much time to Hamilton, unless he's got some front wing damage himself. You see Butler's just ahead as well, so Butler is up to P5 at the moment, from P9 on the grid originally. So Butler's having a good race. We're having a good race too. We've gained the same amount of positions as Butler, but we could be gaining one more if we can get past Hamilton here. But at the moment there's no really overtaking opportunities, but we're having a little bit of problem now with a bit more understeer thanks to that front wing braking on Leclerc, but hopefully it doesn't cost us too much. We may have to stop for a pit stop, but look at this, we're getting a bit of slipstream here on Hamilton. Can we get past him into the chicane? We're looking to the outside here this time. He gives us just enough room on the outside, but there's no room there to get past him. So maybe on the pit straight we'll have DRS. This is probably the best opportunity now to get past him, is just by driving past him before the end of, well, before the first corner. But here we go, he's going to defend on the inside. We go to the outside and we can take hold of P6 here, and up into P6 we go. Bottas then the next target in P5. So, well, we move on to lap 8. A few more cars are actually starting to pit now, starting to pit later. The soft tyres are lasting a lot longer than expected, so you can do more laps on the soft tyres than you need to on the medium. So that's why many cars are coming in later than usual, but we're up into P2 at the moment. We'll have to see where we are relative to everyone else coming out of the pits, but at the moment we're starting to understeer a little bit. Weber still leading up front, so Verstappen is pitted. Vettel is behind us. I don't know if Vettel's pitted yet. I'd imagine he's actually pitted. I think Vettel might be actually in a net P1 here, so I don't know what's happened to Verstappen's race, but yeah, we're looking quite happy at the moment. I think we're up into provisional P6 until the pit stop, so we can come round these next few corners now, which we'll be pitting at the end of this lap. We should see where we are relative to everyone else that has pitted, and whether we can actually get a good result here in terms of the championship, because Butler's looking quite handy for a good result. Verstappen was leading the race at the start, so Verstappen will be hoping to still be able to lead in the race at the end, and that would be a huge, if he could, at the start of the race he was going to be gaining 25 points on us, but as things have gone we started to gain some positions. I don't know if he started to lose any. Norris has lost plenty of positions. I don't even know if he's going to be in the points at the end of this race, and Butler has gained some as well, so it's all plenty of time for the standings to change as the races come on, and we go into the pits then to put on the medium tyres for just 4 laps to the end. So it feels a bit weird actually only putting these tyres. It was almost like sort of 2010 where you could put the softs on for almost the whole race and just do a few laps on the hard tyres, but as you can see Butler goes past us. Verstappen is behind Butler now, so Butler's having a hell of a race here. Gasly goes through as well, Bottas goes through, and we're still ahead of Perez, who's ahead of Hamilton now. An accidental pause there, but nothing to take any attention of. But yeah, an accidental pause at the start button is very close to the A button on the wheel. The Logitech G290, I think it is, or it might be the G920. But yeah, that's the wheel we got. But we're out just ahead of Perez. But he's a little bit closer than we would like at this point. So perhaps if we did have our full front wing, we'd be a little bit further down the road. Of course, that pace has gone a little bit, but we may have to do a bit of defending in these last few laps from Perez, which is not what we want to do. Bottas is just down the road, and we've actually closed in on him a little bit, I think, over the pit stop. So the Mercedes race pace isn't really there for whatever reason. We get a little bit of oversteer there out of the hairpin, but Perez isn't too close to us at this point to think about making a move. So at the moment it's 6 points, so maybe there's a couple more cars yet to stop, because we were in P6 before the pit stops, and I don't think any of the cars have got an overcut and ended up being ahead of Bottas as well. So I think Hamilton's gone a little bit backwards as well. I don't know if he had an issue. Leclerc is still behind Perez, so we've still got that to watch out for. But we're just 3 laps left now to go once this one is over. You can see Bottas is actually behind the car, and that looks like it could be Verstappen. So Verstappen has gone backwards in this race. I don't know what's happened to Verstappen. He's had some sort of issue. Gasly's in the pits, but now we're back up to P6, which is where we were before the pit stops. We move on to lap 12, and it's Verstappen ahead of us. So Verstappen has lost his position to Valtteri Bottas, and there's a chance here we could get him on the last lap of the race, because he's only a couple of seconds ahead of us now, maybe even less than that, and we're closing in on Verstappen quite by some rate of knots here. He's got some sort of issue, maybe some broken front wing himself. We've got some broken front wing though, so I mean we shouldn't be any slower than what he's going, unless he's got an engine related issue. But this is a disaster here for Verstappen in this championship challenge, because really he had the pace to be winning this weekend, but he's gone backwards in the race. He started P1, he could well end up being P7 at this stage. We could lose 2 more positions because Perez is right behind here, and look how much we close in on him in just a few corners. We're over a second behind him at the start of this lap. We're going to be perhaps even thinking about overtaking before the end of this lap is over. I mean, I think he has some sort of engine related issue here, because he's not going very quickly at all in a straight line, and we could quite easily get him here. And we on the run up towards 130R, we see we're right behind Max Verstappen. Can we get past him? And it's almost an easy move. Yeah, he's definitely got some sort of issue there. We go past him on the inside. Perez will be looking to get past him too, as maybe Leclerc, so he could end up finishing in P8, which would be an awful finish for Verstappen. But we lock up into the hairpin. Verstappen will be thinking about trying to get past us again on a start-finish rate. He does not want to lose that position. He wants to keep fighting for all the points that is available. He's going to be losing a point to us at the moment. He's got the fastest lap of the race, which may be some sort of consolation perhaps, but he runs a little bit wide there, and I think that might be the battle over if we can carry on to pull away from him here. But definitely he's well managed to put up a bit of a fight. There's no front wing damage there visible on his car, so I think it's definitely some sort of mechanical issue. But we've got to try and pull away now and get out of that DRS zone, perhaps get out of any slipstream zone. And if the further away we are from him, the less slipstream he'll get from us, which may be a defence in attack from Perez. So that is what we have to try and do. Actually, we have to try and break the slipstream, break the toe from Verstappen to give Perez an opportunity to take more points away from Verstappen. But locking up into the hairpin, not going to help too much at all. But with just a few corners left, we can see the gap that we've already made Verstappen, a huge gap. So Verstappen's had an awful issue here. Don't know if it's like an MGUK failure or something like that, but he's just completely gone. And yeah, now he's going to be lapped up by Perez if he's not lucky. But we've just got a couple corners left to go then. It's actually been a fairly good result for us in terms of the championship. Butler has gained a few points, but Perez is going to overtake Max Verstappen. He's got up into P6. We're in P5. Butler takes the fastest lap of the race away from Verstappen as well, and that's going to be another kick in the teeth for Verstappen as we come around the final corner to finish this race, and it's going to be P5. So gained 6 positions then in that race. It's a fairly decent result. We could have perhaps got P4 if we had our full front wing. Bottas was only a few seconds down the road, but I mean, we have to take that result. It wasn't too bad, but yeah, Verstappen will be ruining that race. He'll be gutted with that reliability issue. Butler will be thrilled with that. He charged through the pack from P9, so definitely driver of the day for him for sure. With Vettel on the podium, I think, as well, and Lucas Weber. So yeah, good result for Butler in terms of the championship. Definitely, he looked like he was pretty much in trouble coming into the race from qualifying. He was down in P9 with his teammate in P3 and Verstappen in P1. But there you go, we were the ones that started P3 and P4 out of the top 4, but ended up P1 and P2 in the end. Norris nowhere near the points after that, so yeah, disappointing day for him for sure. Down in P16, awful day for Norris. So let's have a look at the standings then. We have a 19 point gap to Butler, so Butler's up to second with that result. Verstappen down to third, so Butler might be our biggest fear now for the championship, but unless Verstappen can fight back. And Norris is all but out. We've got 4 races left after this, so he could be out in the next race if he does not get a good result. So with that being said, we have to look forward to the next race now. I hope you enjoyed it today. It was a good result for us. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.